Welcome back. Our top story, of course, Theresa May is no doubt stressing as her Brexit deal has been rejected in the UK Parliament. Let's get the latest now from our UK correspondent, Ollie Barrett, who joins us live from London. Ollie, of course, there's so much to say about this. Theresa May's Brexit deal has been rejected by 230 votes, the largest defeat for a sitting government in history.
Yeah, an historic defeat in an historic vote and a whopping margin of defeat for Theresa May. There was a sense in the build-up to this vote that if she could restrict the margin of defeat, she could perhaps even demonstrate some momentum, some progress, some minds that she had changed in the run-up to this vote. But the House of Commons has overwhelmingly rejected her Brexit deal. Now, that has led already to some very significant consequences. Indeed, the opposition Labour Party has tabled a motion of no confidence in Theresa May's government. That will be debated and voted on tomorrow. So we have a second incredibly important vote for the government in 2 days, which will be watched all around the world, as today's was as well. Theresa May, we would expect, will win the confidence vote tomorrow, but that is certainly not a given. These are treacherous times for her, and her authority has yet again taken a huge blow here.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. MPs were told they face a choice between order and chaos. It seems they chose chaos by rejecting this deal.
That's absolutely right. And now what the government is saying, and Theresa May hinted at this in her speech after the result came in, and we've heard now several cabinet ministers saying similar things in the moments after this vote, that what they're going to do is to try and head out into the House of Commons and build consensus with MPs from other parties. The problem is, at the moment, there is no consensus from MPs as to how Britain should pursue Brexit. There are all sorts of different types of Brexit. There is the no-deal Brexit. There's Theresa May's deal for Brexit. There are customs union-based Brexit deals. There are Brexit deals based on Norway's deal or Canada's trade deal with the European Union. There are, of course, MPs who still don't want Britain to leave the EU. So this idea that Theresa May can now head into the House of Commons and find MPs from across the party divide to build a consensus with, that is also incredibly difficult as well. And the default scenario remains: Britain will leave the European Union on the 29th of March with no deal unless some other deal can be concocted in the intervening period, or Brexit is paused, delayed, or even revoked. So yes, you're quite right to describe this as chaos. That's exactly what it is.
Now, earlier, Natalie Powell, the other UK correspondent working for ENCA, was saying that Theresa May will have 3 days to come up with a plan B. Does that still stand, and what could that plan B actually be?
Well, given that she got straight to her feet in the House of Commons, I think we get the sense that Theresa May has now put forward her plan B. It may be that she starts new conversation with Brussels about what kind of deal they might agree to, that the House of Commons might agree to as well. But the sense in Brussels at the European Union is that they are waiting to hear from the UK what can get through the House of Commons, what the UK wants. And so Theresa May has a very difficult task now building her plan B, because what we had expected was that if she managed to keep that margin of defeat quite low, quite small, quite narrow, that she would perhaps be able to tweak her deal, bring it back to the House of Commons for another vote on it in the not too distant future. That didn't sound like what Theresa May was proposing as she got to her feet off the back of this resounding defeat. She did not sound like a woman who was preparing to tweak her deal and bring it back to the House of Commons. If you were to try and do that, you would have to change the minds of dozens and dozens of MPs, given the resounding rejection that they've given her deal this evening.
I guess more importantly, Ollie, the people who voted in favour of actually leaving the EU in that referendum, and those, of course, who are opposing it today, as we saw, what is the sentiment on the ground?
It's still divided. It's still really divided. We've seen demonstrations outside Parliament today on both sides of that equation. Lots of people still want a second referendum. They want to stay in the European Union. They believe that a second referendum would deliver that. But many Brexiteers, many of whom voted for the first time in an electoral event like this, many of whom felt more passionate about this than they normally do about general elections and local elections in the UK. They say they would feel completely betrayed if Brexit is not now delivered. And it was interesting to hear Theresa May saying when she got to her feet in the House of Commons not long after losing this vote that she still is committed to delivering Brexit. The question is, what type of Brexit will it be? And when and if she can deliver a Brexit of some sort, will it please those Brexiteers, those people who voted for Britain to leave the European Union, or will they think it was a fudge and will they still feel betrayed?
Yeah, it seems like she has a really, really, really tough job at hand. One day she's actually going to get it right. Thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. That was Ollie Barrett in London on